a tiff today.
A Tiff, yes. I've always loved the name Tiffany because it makes me think of Breakfast at Tiffany. It's like this classy name for a classy broad, so says Frank Sinatra. Tiffany Lauren Bennicke is a lovely young lady I met at the height of COVID when I was working at Global News Morning. And I was really excited to have her in studio. She has this amazing story. People always say, if only I had time or if I could just take a risk. She's one of those. She did. In short, when I met her, she had been doing she had moved to Montreal. Her husband was working in animation, and she was trying to get work in feature films. And as all of us who are actor members know, that's impossible. I could get an elephant faster. So she decided that she was going to spend pretty much her life savings and make her own feature film. And I believe it was from like February, she wrote the script, to March, April, May, she produced it, and she was sitting at Cannes, and she has won many prizes since, but she is the living, breathing example of sometimes you just have to take a risk and really believe in yourself.
Determination. A study in
Actress,
determination.
producer, director, all round superheroine. Forget Supergirl. We've got Lauren, Tiffany and
Yeah.
Lauren.
And she's not even 20 yet,
I know.
based on her photographs.
Well, she's also sideways.
She's also
Yes,
sideways.
I'm sideways. Oh my
Yes,
goodness. Okay, let's fix that.
That's
Let's
okay.
see.
that's better.
I thought we were
Let's see.
doing like a Batman movie, where the old.
No, no, not this time. No Spider-Man, no Batman.
It is so great to see you. The last time I saw you, I think, was the summer after our interview, but you have been off traipsing around the world. But I want to go back to the very beginning. Do people tell me I can't do it? I haven't got the courage. Girl, you got courage. You are all that in a bag of chips. But let's talk about your beginnings and growing up. Originally, I believe, in Jamaica, and then moving to the States, and let's kind of zip on from there.
Oh, that's a very long story. I hope you guys have time. Okay, well, so my name is Tiffany Lauren Bennicke. I was born Tiffany Lauren Chinson in Kingston, Jamaica. Born and raised, grew up there. It's not like I was born and left right away. So I actually have the culture, and I guess I still, in moments, still sound as if I'm from there. Went to high school there and finished high school in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Was there for a very short time, 3 years, and I decided I'd always known I wanted to be in the work and live and be surrounded by the TV, the television and film industry. So on very short notice, actually, I moved to Los Angeles with only three duffel bags, as much money as I had in my bank account at the time, and moved to Los Angeles and decided I was just going to make this work. This is where I wanted to be. I wanted to be in California. It was a very good fit for me for a long time. I found people like myself. I felt like you could be who you wanted to be. I loved the culture, and I was there for a very long time, which is also where I met my husband as well. So he's from Denmark, I'm from Jamaica. We met in Los Angeles. We got married 4 years after dating, and we got married in France. And I'm this story is going to let you know how I got to Montreal, because that's a whole that's a whole thing in itself. So we met, fell in love with each other immediately. We both knew in the first week that we were going to get married. And I know this is going to sound crazy. I would not advise this if someone else did this. So if someone else told me they were doing this, I would tell them they were crazy or slap them or something. But my husband and I, we started living together on our third date. That is not something people typically do, but here we are 14 years later. So I guess, obviously it worked out. But and we're very happy together. We're here in Canada. How we got to Canada is very funny. So it was literally right after our wedding. We got married in France, in the just an hour outside of Paris, in a chateau. We had a chateau elopement wedding, and we had our honeymoon in Italy. And when we got home, my husband was offered a job to that would involve moving to Montreal. Like this happened 2 weeks after we got home from our honeymoon, and I was ready to settle down. I was ready to buy a house and settle down. I was like, move to Montreal. I'd never been to Quebec. I'd been all over Canada, but never Quebec before. So I had no idea what to expect. I didn't know anything about here, the place. And they kept insisting that we moved here, and I just kept telling them, just tell them no. Just tell them no. We just got married. I just wanted to settle down and live in Los Angeles and buy a house. And it got to the point where they realized that they had to convince me to move to Montreal for a year to get him to be able to move to Montreal and work on this project for a year. So they made a proposal. They said they came to me directly and said, Tiffany, let's, we'll take care of a 1 week trip to Montreal. All expenses paid, everything will be taken care of, and just go look around, see how you feel, and and if you hate it, we will stop bothering you. We'll never come to you again with this proposal. We won't come after you guys again to move to Montreal. And I thought, oh my gosh, and this was after a month of asking us over and over again to go. And I thought,
Wow.
okay, you know what? I'm just going to do this. It's never going to stop until let me just go see what the place is like. So, this was I believe it was February. February in
Good
Montreal.
timing.
I
Yeah.
know. So it was February. Before this, I had only lived in Jamaica and Los Angeles and Fort Lauderdale, Florida. So I didn't own any winter clothes. Like I did not own
We.
a winter jacket at all. And it was a Friday that I said yes. And they told us, okay, cool, you're going on Monday. What? I don't own any clothes for this. Okay. So immediately I went on Amazon and bought myself a coat for a next day delivery just so I could have the coat in time to fly out with on Monday. And they pulled out all the stuff. They sent a limo service to pick us up. We went to Montreal. We flew to Montreal. You got there at nighttime. Very funny thing happened. We got off the plane and my husband knew someone like as we got off the plane, like a longtime friend that he worked with at the time, and which was so random. We got there. My first night there, we ordered delivery, and they weren't very nice to me over the phone because I didn't speak any French at the time. And I thought,
Oh
oh my
no.
gosh, I know. I was like, oh my gosh, this is so terrible. They were so mean and this and that and so rude to me. And so that was my first impression. And the day after that, because I spoke at the time, I spoke no French. I was so scared of. My husband went to work, of course, because he was, now he's right down the road from the studio he was going to be working with to try that out. I stayed inside a hotel room because I was too scared to go out and speak French to anyone. So this happened. This went on for 2 days. I just stayed inside the hotel room. We were supposed to be there for 1 week, and I stayed inside the hotel room for 2 days. And I thought, I don't want to stay inside a hotel room for 2 days. I'm looking out the window. It was gorgeous outside. We were right smack in the middle of old Montreal, cobblestone streets, and these gorgeous, historic clocks and buildings and things. And I'm looking out the window, and I thought, I don't want to be afraid to go outside. I don't want to stay in this room for an entire week. And my husband is out there making friends and having a life, and I didn't want to just stay in a hotel room the entire week, dodging room service every time they came to clean the rooms. I thought, I need to get out of here. I need to do something. So I went on YouTube and I learned how to say one sentence. I learned how to say one sentence. And I was so worried about how it would sound. So all my French speaking friends were getting text messages with voice clips of me saying this one sentence, asking them, is this okay? Can you understand? Is it
What was the
terrible?
Oui,
sentence?
mais
Yeah, am I butchering this? Huh?
quelle
What
était
was the
la
sentence?
phrase?
No, no, no. It
La
was,
phrase était. Quelle était
je
la phrase?
suis, je suis très, très, très désolée, mais j'ai pas je ne parle pas français. Parlez-vous anglais? That's all
Okay.
I learned how to say. That's
Okay.
all. That was
Well,
it.
it's a good start.
It
Yeah.
was it. Oh yeah, it was the only thing. Well, at the time I spoke like zero French. So I was speaking Danish because my husband's Danish, but no French whatsoever. So, learned by one sentence, practiced over and over again, ran it by all my French speaking friends. And then I went outside, and anytime anyone tried to speak to me, I would use my one sentence, and the whole world opened up. Everyone
Mm.
was so nice.
Mm.
Everyone switched to English immediately. They were all so helpful, and everyone was so nice. And like honestly, saying my one sentence, just making that tiny, tiny effort changed everything. And so I walked around, and luckily I got a sun. It was cold, but I got a sunny day the day I went out. I'm walking around. I'm walking. This is my first time walking through the snow and everything on the sidewalks. That was my very first experience. And my first real experience with being in snow, really, because I'd only lived in warm countries and cities before that. So I'm walking around. I get to the Pointe Callier, the historic museum. I love history. I love, love, love. If anywhere I go, I've been to South Africa, Prague, Mexico, all over France, Denmark. Anywhere I go, Peru, I always visit historic museums. That I love museums, but especially history. I love finding out how the people in a place came to be the way they are, like how their culture affects them. So I went to the Pointe Callier, which was right down the street from my hotel in Old Montreal, and I got there close to closing time, and the girl at the front, because it was like 2 hours before closing, the girl at the front let me in for free, which was like, oh wow, that's so nice, and that would never, you know, that's never happened to me in Los Angeles before. They would have charged full price. But I got inside, and she says, "Oh yeah, yeah, just come in for free, and right behind me here is a movie theater, and you can see a movie, a short 10-minute movie on the history of Montreal." And I thought, my initial thought honestly was, oh, this is going to be so boring, but okay, cool, I'm here. And I watched this film, and the way they projected the film was so beautiful. They projected right onto the old like the old ruins, like all the rocks and the exposed stone and exposed bricks from the 1700s when the French first landed. And it's gorgeous. And the entire, like the way that they had the countdown clock, and showed you what happened during each century and decades sometimes. And it was fascinating. It was amazing. And suddenly I had fresh insight and new eyes
Oh,
of all of
Mm.
Montreal. Like
Mm.
like suddenly that made me feel, oh my gosh, this place is amazing. This is fascinating. I learned about the English and the Irish and the First Nation people and how they got there. And suddenly all those cobblestone streets made sense, and all of this gorgeous architecture made sense.
so
I'd
I
lived
have to
in,
ask you, was that the
yes,
moment that you decided to stay in Montreal? Was that
well,
your
that was
aha,
the
I'm in love?
that was the turning point. That was the turning point. Because you see, I'd lived in Los Angeles for so many years. Anytime I see something that's dressed up, I immediately think it's a movie set. So to me, that all the cobblestone streets and everything, I didn't think that they were actually built by the French when they first landed. But now it's like, oh my gosh, these are all historical buildings. And now I had this new, fresh appreciation and love for the place. And I'm walking around and wondering about this stable that's been converted into a restaurant, or this church or this cathedral. And I went to the studio with my husband, made new friends, and by the end of the
You were
week.
a voice
Mm.
actress already in Los Angeles before you moved
Well,
to
yeah, but
Montreal.
that brings me to a question here too. Were you a femme fatale when you arrived, or did you become a femme fatale after you arrived?
Well, I was already a voice actress before in Los Angeles. I was already recording video games, and by what is because my husband works in the animation industry, and it's funny, I got to work on the film that he was making when we first landed in Montreal. So I got to meet the animators who were animating my voice and everything. So that was really cool. But yeah, all this to say, fell in love with Montreal, and we ended up taking the trip and staying here for the year. And it was after we went home that we were so depressed and wanted to come back. And luckily, we found the opportunity to come back.
Now let's
But
talk about
yeah. Oh,
when I gotta ask. So you've come to oh my God, yes, of course, that was one of your first interviews in Montreal
yes.
with that little old redheaded lady. But one of the reasons when they sent me your story, I said I really want to do this interview because it wasn't just, it's hard to be an actor, period. And but I know you'd been doing voice work for a long time. And when I met you, you said that you had been very frustrated. It was hard to get cast into films. I think they were all blind, but I'm certain you know what we talk about. You were getting cast as a certain thing, and you really wanted to break out. So you decided, I know what I'll do. I'll take all of my life savings, because what could possibly go wrong? And I'm going to write my own film, and I'm going to be in it, and I'm going to produce it. And you did that. And when I met you, it was just like zooming off. And you went to Cannes and you won all these awards. Now let's talk about that film. 70 awards so far now.
Well over 100.
But I
well
want
over
to leave
100.
the party.
But I want to, and it is in French, by the way. It is Mais je veux quitter la fête. The
Wow.
original language is in French. So if you are a French speaker, hopefully you won't need to use the subtitles, the English subtitles. But it is called But I Want to Leave the Party. It is a film on mental health, or declining mental health, rather, and depression. And it wasn't all life savings. That would be that would be foolish. It was savings, but not every penny I had. No,
Is
no.
this the one where you play the role of Ellie?
Ellie, yes, yes.
Ellie, okay.
That was my very first film, and I wrote it in 1 week. It came.
We have a clip here. We'll show it. Okay.
Yes. Oh yeah.
J'ai besoin de parler à quelqu'un. Je me sens piégée dans ma propre tête.
And you wrote that in how much time, you said?
1 week.
1 week? Where did the story come from?
It's loosely based on my own experiences. This is it's about 70% true. This is my own experience with declining mental health and depression that I had in Los Angeles, I would say around 2018 or so, just before the pandemic. So anyway, got to Canada and was after overcoming depression. I have an excellent therapist back in Los Angeles, but more about the film, or more about what brought me to make the film. What would you like to hear more about?
Both. Well,
Both.
obviously, it's a very personal story, you say, but obviously something drove you to sit down and say, all right, I'm going to get some funds together and get a crew together and shoot this thing, right?
That's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Producing is a lot of work. Let's emphasize that part. But yeah, so I arrived here and I kept hitting ceilings in regard to joining unions, or being able to work in either language, or just the typical actor life, get auditions, and all this waiting for someone else to decide if I get to work or not. And that really bothered me. Like, why am I waiting? Why am I putting my career, my life, the things I want to do by waiting? You're doing that. You're putting that in someone else's hands. You're waiting for someone else to hire you. And I got tired of waiting for someone else to hire me. And I figured, you know what? I'm primarily I was only an actress, voice actor, and on camera actor. And I'm going to have to do some other jobs if I want to be able to make my career happen. So I'm going to have to be a writer and a producer. And those are the glamorous, those are the credits I have. I'm the writer, producer, actress, but I was also craft service. I'm also the janitor. I'm also the location scout. I'm also the wardrobe person, everything, not everything. I had people, but there are many other jobs you have to take on if you're doing something, doing something on a budget, and also you just want to get it done. So I wrote a film in a week. I decided to write something based on my own personal experiences, which was, declining mental health and depression. The film is about 70% true, not entirely true. Obviously, I'm not from England or France, and French is not my first language, and my name is not Ili. But I I wanted to make something that was not a biopic, but a story, but also in order for me to be able to tell the story. I had to be able to separate it from myself. And
Right.
by making it another person, another character, she's from somewhere else in the world. And most importantly, speaking another language, it was enough to separate me from from my own personal experiences, just enough so that I could tell the story. Because if I made it a film about me, I don't know if I would have gotten through it to make the story. So,
Now I gotta stop you right here. So you make
yes.
this film. Now I know a lot of local actors, our friend Russell Yvan and
Hmm.
that, and everybody. They think like I'm going to make a film. I'm going to enter it in a film festival. Carlos Asagian also same thing. But a lot of people say, well, if you're really, some people just start off at the Montreal Actor Short Film Festival. Other people will say, oh, you know what, I'm going to go to Tribeca. Maybe I'll go to Sundance. But you went to Cannes, Madame. And
Yes.
that must have been, that takes things of steel, if you catch my drift, wink, wink.
Now, testicles, say it.
Okay, well, balls is steel. Okay, thanks, Dad. He gave me permission. But seriously, when you told me you I'm just going to go to Cannes, and it's like, okay, that's really brave, and you won awards on your first film, girl.
Good for you.
Oh, well, thank you. I wouldn't say testicles. Those things are very fragile.
That's true too. I stand corrected.
They don't take pain or anything very well.
I'm terribly sorry. I should have known that.
Yes, one of us knows that. But yes, so I wouldn't say I had testicles of steel or anything like that. I would just say I was very scared to do it anyway, because I was very scared. I'm speaking French in the film, and French is not my first language, and it premiered in Cannes, and I had to go to Cannes and have my French-speaking film play in front of native French speakers and hope that they weren't cringing, or hope that I wasn't butchering this. Yes.
Question here: was it a cathartic experience?
It definitely was. It was definitely a cathartic experience. We filmed for 3 days or 2.5 days total, but the first 2 days were in that apartment location you see in the film. After because it was an Airbnb that belonged to a filmmaker that I rented. After I checked out, and my husband helped me check out the next morning, because I'd been just playing the role. I'd been crying on every single take, and I'd been doing that for 2 days straight. I had the worst headache that did not respond to any medication or anything for 1 full week, including the morning that we checked. I had this pounded migraine when we were packing up all my things and all the props and everything and putting them in my car. And we decided, oh, well, you know what? I wanted to do something to celebrate, but I felt too awful. It was from all the crying and all the revisiting places that were hell, pretty much, revisiting that and putting myself back in that place. I felt horrible, but I wanted to do something. So my husband and I decided just to walk around Old Montreal. We filmed it in Old Montreal. So we walked around Old Montreal at 10 a.m. in the morning. My eyes are puffy. My eyes are still red and puffy, and I still
You have a sinus headache because they're all blocked up.
Well, not blocked up, but just like my eyes hurt so much from crying on every single take. And I had this ridiculous headache while walking around, and it's this bright early morning light. And I remember feeling horrible the entire time. And I remember and exhausted because it's a lot of work making anything. And I remember walking around with my husband and I don't know if am I allowed to say, or we're not allowed to curse on this because this is what I was. Yeah.
Comme severe.
I said, my love, I feel like shit. I was like, is this how it's always going to be producing?
Yeah, unfortunately, yes.
Is it always
going
to be this hard? And am I always going to feel like this at the end?
Was this your cornerstone project? Was this the launch pad for other things then?
Yeah.
This was the big launch pad for everything. As a matter of fact, my film is called But I Want to Leave the Party. And because I won so many awards and it got me recognition and it got me magazine interviews and
every magazine cover you appeared on.
I've got quite a few here. Just keep talking while I put them up here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
goodness, some of these magazines I've never heard of before.
and all of these were from this one film, and the mileage
Wow.
I've gotten from one film is incredible, and the number of
Esquire.
awards. Yeah, Esquire Australia, and the number of
Wow.
awards and job offers I received afterwards, and collaboration offers, and anyway. But I Want to Leave the Party is my first film, and I decided to name my production company as, nostalgically after my first film, which is why that's where the name came from, Leave the Party Films, from But I Want to Leave the Party. So that's where the name of the company has actually come from, my first film ever. So,
Well, I
And
remember that after we did the interview, and then I was following you on LinkedIn, and then there were all these incredible, if you can show those in large, Yvan, there was just this flurry of magazine covers for everything. And I was flabbergasted. I was amazed. And I remember you also telling me that after you had done that, there was a project that you were probably going to go down and do in, I think it was in the Caribbean.
yes.
But there was this nonstop press. And I think that's pretty incredible, on your very first film. And a lot
Rolling
of
Stone. Rolling
Yeah.
Stone.
look at
Rolling
that.
Stone UK. Rolling Stone UK, yes.
But
So
it's
that's not. No. Just a question here. So you have the allure of a model here. Obviously, did this something you had to learn as soon as you jumped into your first covers? I suppose. Yes.
No, I've been modeling since I was 14. That's something I think that's how I first got into the industry. So I've been modeling for a long time. This isn't my first time
Okay.
modeling or in front of a camera.
It
Yeah.
shows. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Pastigate. Sorry,
Uh,
Montreal joke. But
Hmm.
I don't know because so you how many awards has it won so far?
Oh, Era, I know this is going to sound very funny, but I've actually lost count. I've lost count. It's surpassed 100. It's over
Holy
100 now.
mackerel!
Wow. Good for you.
Yes. Yeah, it's over 100 now. So it's quite a bit. I really have I like after 100 I just stopped counting. I was like, okay, cool, that's I'm on to the next thing. I'm already on to my next projects. So
Can we talk about any next projects coming up? Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Say no more.
uh
Say no more.
oh well, I mean, thankfully, I didn't speak French so badly that, as of next projects, I'm just going to say something else that's out first. I did work on a Télé-Québec show called Temps Partiel, which you have a clip of as well. And
Yep.
so yes, so I was able to work in French again for someone other than myself, which was nice.
You want to watch that
And
here?
Yeah, let's have a
yeah,
look at that.
Le bureau chef a envoyé 3. Pas une, pas deux, 3. Les résultats sont tous désastreux. Il y en a même une qui est morte.
Oh, merci, vous êtes vraiment la meilleure vendeuse que j'ai connue pour vrai.
Que les clients se sentent vraiment comme chez elles.
Moi, j'adore travailler ici. On nous donne des congés à chaque fois qu'on en a besoin.
Confucius disait chaque chose à sa place. Non, mais c'était vraiment une garderie avant. Mais moi, j'ai 3 enfants, j'étais habituée à ça. Hein? Karine Junior, Kelvin.
Bonjour.
Ça, c'est Amelie. She not understand English. De Gatineau.
Non, mais notre ancienne gérante voulait me nommer assistante gérante, par exemple.
Est-ce possible de rassembler tous les employés?
Ben oui.
Mon inauguration officielle. Hello, les petits amis. J'aurais besoin de votre présence aux caisses, s'il vous plaît.
Bonjour à tous. Je vous présente votre nouveau gérant de magasin, Karen Carter.
C'est Carin.
Bienvenue, Karen.
Carin. K-A-R-I-N. Carin.
Est-ce que vous cherchez une assistante gérante?
Vous acceptez les demandes de congés? Oh, est-ce que vous parrainez les étrangers?
J'adore votre enthousiasme. Je vous garantis que les choses vont pas mal changer ici.
Oh, you're so funny, Karen.
Oh, Carin, c'est Carin.
Wow.
he was Guillaume Lambert. He's a comedian here in Quebec. He was lovely to work with, by the way. He's absolutely lovely. All of them, they were very nice. Great cast. But,
It's a challenge too, working with that many people, is it not? No?
No, it was very organized. It was a fully woman-run team. I mean, the producers, the directors, the cinematographer, all women. It was very organized, well run. Food was fantastic. The food was the exec producer's Haitian, so she had this very delicious Haitian food on set. And ever since then, I've been this life has been so busy. I've been meaning to get to a good Montreal Haitian restaurant. So if you know of any, that it's because of that set why I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to find Haitian food now. But yes.
I know of one, but what I'd like to do now is I'd like to have a look. I know we have clips of your animated work because that's where you first got your feet wet in Los Angeles. And that's really good because a lot of people go to LA. I remember my time in LA. I felt like Dorothy from Kansas that had been lumped down in this very strange place. It wasn't as dreamy as I thought it was, but you were working... you were doing animation. Do we have one of the animation clips there?
Yes,
Monsieur?
I think so. We have one about
Monsieur Projector Dude?
Mr. Secretary?
Mr. Secretary?
Yes.
Your name is Mr. Secretary?
Is that you? That's your voice?
So,
That's me.
how
That's
do
me,
you-
Felix.
Oh, I'm just here for the great company.
Aren't you a little young to start working for All Water?
What? No, I meant because it was a joke, doofus.
Oh.
Yeah. Harold, good timing. You can explain things to the major, can't you?
So you're not here to make excuses for this diminutive delinquent?
Hey, I'm not diminutive. I've just got longer to live than you. And Harold, tell him about our plan.
What's with the secret?
Shh. Wait. I can't tell you anything with all these people around.
Okay. We have to wait until everyone leaves?
Yes, that's the deal. So, do you ever think it's strange? All these people, all their own homes, lives, thoughts? Maybe they don't even know we exist.
Well, I mean, they can see us.
Yes, but that's not always the same thing, is it?
Oh.
So was this a series or a one-off?
That is a video game. That is a
it's a video
claymation
game.
Video game. I
A
know.
claymation video game. Oh my God.
Stop motion play video game, and it took a long time to make that, as you can imagine. There are many behind-the-scenes videos, fascinating behind-the-scenes videos on how they made this game online. It's from Germany, and Onat is the creator, and there are many videos of him talking about the creation of this game, and it looks exhausting and like a lot of work, but it's fascinating that they were able to pull off a stop motion video game. It was a lot. They're able to actually hold up my little characters. They're about this big, and they built them out of clay, and and actually show you all the characters and how they put their faces and their eyes and everything else. It's fantastic. It is absolutely fascinating. Definitely something to check out if you're interested. Harold Halibut.
Did you get to keep your character?
No. I worked for them for a long time, but I didn't get to keep my character. And what was cool was, what I liked about them was that this was not something I auditioned for. They found me online and contacted my agents in Los Angeles, and they actively sought me out for that game. I ended up playing, I believe, 4 or 5 characters in that game total. So there are others. I played women and that little boy, and I played, a transgender character. I played like multiple characters in the game. So it's, that was a fun experience working on that.
I have another clip here. There's something on fire. I'm not quite sure what's going on here, but...
I'm sorry, I'll be right with you.
Oh.
Okay, I'm not saying it's a bad idea. I'm saying it's overkill.
It's a weapon. Kill is the point.
Not if it blows the user's arm off. Oh, just stop talking.
Are these animated characters as well?
They are animated, but it's for a video game.
Another video game, okay.
Weapon. Am I right?
And tell her that going out there is a bad bet.
Well, you tell him he better crank out what he knows before I pummel him in.
Whoa. Slow down, Della. What's going on?
It's my sister, Boomer. She ran off into the desert. We had a fight. I told her we'd discuss it in the morning after we both had time to cool off. But when I woke up, she was gone. And Spectacles over here was the only one to see her leave. But he refuses to tell me which way she went.
Sometimes you'll see it in the distance.
So what's this one about?
So that is Horizon Forbidden West. It is part of the trilogy. It is the second installment in the trilogy. There's Horizon Zero Dawn and Horizon Forbidden West. That is I mean, I wish I had. Getting a PlayStation is very difficult when these games come out because they're back ordered for months. By the way, when this game came out, it was back ordered for a year. But it is a multi-billion-dollar video game from a company called Guerrilla Games, based out of the Netherlands, and they're huge. They're huge, 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 huge. Sony PlayStation, and I mean, there was a big countdown where fans could sit online waiting for this game to be released, and it was a big deal. I got fans from that on. I had a Twitter account at the time. I had people contacting me, and I still have people who followed me from that time when the game was released, who still follow me on Instagram and actually interact with me and everything. I know them and I know their names now and everything. That was a great game to be a part of. Horizon Forbidden West.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
When do you sleep?
You know, all my friends ask me the same thing. I don't know, Yvan. I don't know. I haven't slept very often because or very much these days. I am in the middle of what is it? I'm directing a sci-fi anthology series that has been announced, and that was in the Independent article, and actually a few of the articles that are out online right now. So I have a sci-fi anthology series. It is a limited series of 6 episodes, very Black Mirror style, where every episode is its own character and own thing. I have 3 episodes shot so far. I've just finished the first one and submitted it to festivals, and the second one is currently finished editing and VFX and is with my composer right now. I'm directing him right now on the score, and the third one is in editing and will shortly go off to VFX after that's done. But so I'm in the middle of directing, these 3 guys in the meantime. My editor, my CGI VFX artist, as well as my composer. So I do that when I'm sitting at my computer, and when I'm not doing that, I actually have hobbies now. Can you believe it? I have these are hobbies I never thought I would have when I lived in Los Angeles. I am doing so much manual labor. I am getting so buff from gardening, and I'm at this moment before the snow comes. I'm building a 40-foot long, single-handedly building a 40-foot long boardwalk in my backyard. I have 3 acres of land, and I'm building a boardwalk from the part of my backyard where the lawn is to go into the forest. I'm I just bought 15 maple trees, and we're planting those. I planted another 8. Now it's going to be 16 soon, sumacs, 4 lilacs. I'm planting trees and hydrangeas and things, and I'm doing things I never imagined I would be. This is, oh yeah, sorry, you're on mute. Yvan, you're on mute.
Era has done it again. She makes me feel like a slug every single week. I meet these fascinating, talented people, and then I cry myself to sleep.
Oh God, no, don't cry yourself to sleep. I'm doing this because who's going to do it? Who else is going to do it? I can't wait for someone else to do it, and I know how I want things done. I'm just like, you know what, let me just do it myself. I've never built anything. I've never, I've never taken carpentry classes or anything, but here I am. I own a sander, I own a drill, I have a little workshop set up in my garage now. I buy things like I repurpose furniture on Facebook Marketplace. I bought a vintage TV last year, and I converted it into a cat bed. That is something I should send you a picture of.
Into a what?
Into a cat bed. Yes.
A cat bed. Okay.
A bed for my cat. Yeah, so now she sleeps in the TV. It is beautiful. It's wallpapered with little leopards in there because she's half leopard. She's half Asian leopard and half domestic cat. She's a Bengal cat. But yeah, I put little wallpapered leopards in there, and that was a lot of work. That took 1 full month of me drilling and sanding and painting, and buying pieces of it. I went to Home Depot probably 16 times just to buy stuff for this. I kept thinking while I'm making that, oh my gosh, I hope this cat appreciates all this work that her mother's doing for her. She sleeps in there every night.
You kill me.
Yeah, you are a delight. You are a delight, and you deserve all the success you have, my dear. Thank you.
Thank you. I work very hard, and I want the things I want. I've never wanted to be like anyone else. I've always just wanted to be me, wanting the things I want. Growing up, people ask me, who's your role model? And I've never had one. I just wanted what I wanted. I wanted to be the things I wanted to be, and I wanted to be me doing the things I wanted to do. So I'm doing a lot of things. I had no idea. I mean, I'm doing a lot more than I ever imagined I would be. Honestly, the gardening and all this stuff, that is something I never thought I would do. But here I am, and I'm loving it. I'm loving it, honestly.
I'd like to say something because I have a lot of friends who work in the industry and friends who don't work in the industry, and mental health, everybody talks about it. There's a huge campaign every year, let's talk. But the problem is people don't talk about it. Most people are really afraid to talk about it because even though we say, let's talk, it's like, well, as soon as I say that, and I was speaking to somebody last week who said, oh, everyone will just think I'm a loser. And it's like, no, everybody goes through hard times and everybody goes through difficulty. And, when people say, well, pick yourself up, well, that sometimes feels like you need a front end loader to do that. And you are an incredible inspiration. I hope that everybody that watches that interview says, I can do that. I mean, not only have you built yourself this extraordinary career, but you made a cat bed out of a TV set.
That's right. That's the last thing I'm going to retain is the TV set. You have to send us a picture.
I can send you pictures. And I think if you saw the before and the after, you'd be impressed. Okay, and all the there are dangerous things in old TV that can actually explode on you.
It can blow up in your face.
It can blow up those batteries, those wires.
Yep.
And
those tubes. Yeah.
Those tubes. I still have the actual glass tube. I pulled that out. I'm gonna save it as a prop because it looks really cool. But those wires, they broke right off because they just dry rot from the 1950s.
Yeah, so to speak. Dry rot from the 1950s?
Oh, God, no.
All right, Tiffany. All right, we're going to let you go here, but your sci-fi series is in production now, you say, yes?
It is in production.
Are you shooting here?
I'm shooting entirely in Quebec.
Okay, see, this is why I wanted to thank you, because you are a useful part of the creative community here, and lucky for us to have you here, for sure.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. And yes, all Quebec crew, all born and raised from Montreal. So they're they're fantastic. Okay. I have an amazing crew. So talented, and they're wonderful.
I hope you'll come back again sometime.
And tell us about the new project. Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Oh, thank you.
Thanks. Break a leg, Tiffany. Thank you.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Well,
you've done it again, and I keep saying it over and over again, but you introduce us to some most amazing folks, and she's just a beam of light, this one. Yes?
She's a phenomenal. I remember the first time I met her, and the funny thing is that when she came on the show, she hadn't been doing very many interviews about her career in this film. I think it was one of her first. And I was just completely... It was like sitting in a room with bright lights. It just that she was just so committed. But the incredible thing is to come out of a depression and go, well, I'm going to take that and I'm going to use that. And now I have over 100 film awards, and now I have this whole new career. So there's hope for everybody.
There is. Thank you. We'll talk to you next week.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Ciao.